Well, hello my beautiful Sagittarians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for June 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, of course, you may notice I'm in a different location at this time. I've just gone to visit family members for the next coming weeks, but I will be back in my usual space after that. Just thought I'd explain the location change there. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is your monthly reading for June. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. Where is the time going, my beautiful Sagittarians? It's really flying on by. Now, I don't know if you noticed that the Gaia chimes that I was just using, they often kind of connect to the energy of the reading. And at first, it was very sort of like delicate and, you know, there were lots of wonderful notes coming out there, but suddenly there was an outpouring of notes coming out there, and I felt this energy of some sort of blockage being released in June for you, where suddenly there's an outpouring of energy, you're managing stress levels, perhaps you're letting go of pressure. Some of you may have been a little bit more sensitive than usual and found yourself perhaps shedding some tears there at some point, or letting something out, letting something go, a very cathartic experience. But it could also be something that you've been having a few issues with, that perhaps you feel there's a bit of a gear shift or change there. Well, June is a month where everything kind of comes into alignment for you. But anyway, I'll get straight to your reading, and perhaps it's something to think about. Often energy kind of highlights itself right at the beginning of the reading. So, we've just gone through Saturn moving into the sign of Aries, which will be with us for some time. And it really makes us sit up straight, pay attention to higher standards, and really keep our eyes on our personal prize. Now, Saturn moving sign can actually be a pretty major wake-up call to remind us all that our actions today shape our future tomorrow. So it really reinforces discipline and questions our life philosophy and belief systems. Now, this can be pretty austere energy, so luckily we have my favorite planet Jupiter muscling in on the action this month to really steal the glory by offering us a great cosmic hug. I mean, I feel like we all need it right now, right? Things have been highly pressurized, and this energy will also deliver rewards for your hard work, for your focus, and it offers gateways of opportunity to better luck. Now, the planets change all the time, of course, but we have had some pretty major shifts recently. It's really hard to actually catch a break there, and thank goodness for June, because especially the beginning of it, it offers us a pause. It really takes the edge off before things intensify towards the end of June into July. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and really bask in June's pause to appreciate all that we have and all that is yet to come. Now, I know it's really challenging at this moment in time. The pressure really has been on for the collective. And sometimes you can lose sight of all that you've achieved so far when you're in the flurry of activity to keep life moving forward to hit your next target or goal. But June is a month where the more you acknowledge your personal accomplishments so far, it will reflect and amplify to send more into your life. For we have officially moved into the glorious sign of Gemini. It's Gemini season, the twins, mirroring and doubling down on the energy. So whilst Jupiter expands to offer you more, it's really when you step into your power and know that you deserve more, that the universe will deliver opportunities for more. Now, of course, we still have to focus on responsibilities and duties, but this month will remind you to enjoy the simpler pleasures in life. You know, fun with your nearest and dearest, reset time in nature, having nurturing good food, and contemplative time alone to really connect to your higher self. Now, Jupiter's greatest influence this month will actually be in your personal life as it nestles into the sign of Cancer, which is all about your home, your relationships, and of course, your emotions. June is the 6th month, of course, and it is a 6th vibration energy which guides us home to self. So you'll be asking questions like who or where feels like home to you? And do you need to redefine some boundaries? You'll be all up in your feelings as you endeavor to appreciate the present moment with the people that you really care about the most, but also it will encourage declarations to self on what you are not willing to accept anymore and reinforce that word no as a boundary of self-care. Now, June is a softer month for heartfelt conversations with a desire to create a sacred space for important conversations or connections there. And we're currently in Gemini season, so there may be a little bit of a push and pull energy as you desire to create sacred space for self and have some alone time, but also your extroverted side will also take great strides to shine. The prowess of your intellect demands to be heard and seen as it encourages creativity, questioning, great debates, and alternative opinions. The magical energy this month demands that you stay curious. Now, you're a fire element, my beautiful Sagittarians, and you are a naturally curious person, explorative, adventurous, and open to the alternative. So this is where you really come into your own. Now, of course, June is a major personal comeback month, as it removes stagnancy, awakens your imagination to run wild, and really helps you stride towards many personal breakthroughs. You know, I'd really describe this month as a month where you really celebrate you and the unique spark of brilliance that you bring to your world. I'm just, putting the cards in order there because I'm only taking the uprights for your reading. But, we also have fiery Mars in the sign of Virgo, which will keep you focused on the minute details to serve your higher purpose, your, true north with precision and refinement. This month is all about refinement. And you'll be super productive to make your major improvements. Now, we also have the full moon, and this will be in your sign, my beautiful Sagittarians. So this is going to affect you the most. That occurs on the 11th, depending on where you are in the world, of course. And let's just say it's going to be a little bit unpredictable. A little bit like you, my beautiful Sagittarians. So you may encounter a major plot twist that keeps you on your toes. Your spontaneous side really amplifies and comes out to play during this time. So you may even surprise yourself with a sudden impromptu event, vacation or project, or even, a course of learning, for example. It really will sneak up on you there. And of course, the full moon is in your sign, a fire sign. So we could see intermittent kind of dips in personal energy, intense highs and lows, but also power outages there as well. So something to just keep in mind. And of course, I hate to mention this, but travel related glitches as well. Okay. So, if you are delayed for something, potential for compensation is there also. Now I would say pay attention to the 19th of June. And also the 15th, actually, anything from the 15th to the 19th of June, because Jupiter in Cancer clashes with Neptune, but, just before that, it also clashes with Saturn, which could ring in a disappointment. However, the new moon on the 25th in Cancer will try to soothe volatile situations to offer a better solution. You know, this combination of planetary alignments can see water-related events globally as well. There, a clash on the high seas, flooding or volatile underwater activity that expands land masses. And unfortunately, seismic activity will increase towards a bit of a climax there as well. Now, a couple of planets shift into the sign of Cancer during Gemini. It's not just that planet, or it's not just, you know, this energy. There's a lot getting involved in that Cancerian energy. So we'll all see a detoxification, you know, globally, even when it comes to additives in the food industry, or a major shakeup in agriculture. You know, removal of harmful chemicals enter a discussion for change during this period. So, you know, the Gemini Sagittarius influence can also encourage global activism, a desire for freedom to reinforce transparency. Major exposés will, of course, continue. I always said 2025 is going to be a real eye-opener as to what is going on behind the scenes, but we could have a major conversation about the mismanagement of global funds in the month of June there. That will come to light. However, the question remains, will we see change? Now, I can tell you it's a long road, but it will eventually lead to change, okay? And, you know, we'll also see new technological breakthroughs emerge, especially around the healthcare industry. We'll have big conversations about that as well. And of course, the end of the month is really special, with the solstice opening the gateway to personal growth, healing, and it really marks the return of light and hope, inner light and hope there. A highly sensitive month as you listen to your heart and move forward with great purpose. And I can see that you're locked onto your sense of purpose because you have the Judgment card. So with this Hermit energy as your starting card, this can indicate that you are, you know, removing distractions in order to work on something private at this time. This could be a personal development project. You know, the Hermit energy indicates that you're in a period of enlightenment, deep personal development. But some of you, especially since we have a Nine of Swords there and we have the Chariot card, some of you may have been walking a very lonely path or a challenging path. It can be that you've had to remove yourself in order to focus on something that is a priority right now, and it means that perhaps you haven't been able to get out there and mingle. This will change in June, but also I feel some of you, if you're currently searching for your soul tribe, I feel this integration energy where you're getting involved in some sort of communal activity in the month of June, where you will meet a person that you really just you gel with, okay? This person, there's great conversation. You understand each other on a different level there. And this person, you know, I feel it's intermittent at first as you get to know each other, but this person will become a bestie in time. That's what I'm being given there. A lot of you are focused on family responsibilities this month as well, but the Hermit energy is a going solo energy. So it can indicate some of you are removing yourself from distractions. You want some alone time. I mean, your first house is influencing you during this period. So this can be you really soul searching, looking at what makes you unique and stand out from the crowd, but you may want to be removing yourself from the crowd at first in order to really contemplate who you are, the next steps on your path, how far you've come, what you aspire to achieve. So this can be a period where you may even go off to transform yourself in silence, for example. You know, your 8th house is also influencing you, and that's all about transforming. So it could be that in silence, you are either focused on a project that will literally transform your life, or it can be a personal development project where you are focusing on your body, because the first house is all about your body, it's about your soul, it's about your mind. So it could be that you're learning new things, or, you know, taking some sort of form of education at this time that you want to go off and do for you. You may even contemplate launching your own business, going solo in some way, maybe even solo travel. But, you know, when you have that 1st and 8th house influence with a Hermit energy, it can indicate that you're taking yourself off alone to either do some gym work or some activity where your body is being stretched or getting like a little bit more mobile, as it were. And it could be that you're transforming yourself, body, mind, and soul there. But a lot of you are searching for inspiration. I feel you've been under a lot of pressure recently, especially since we have that 9 of Swords energy. Now, before I even started your reading, and it's coming up again, I do like a little meditation energy just before I start your reading. And what I saw in the water is, you know, 3 chakras, okay? The base, and of course right up to the solar plexus, and it stopped at the solar plexus. Okay, so what I'm being given is that a lot of you are going to be focused on this area, you know, throughout the month of June. And this can be the fight or flight energy, the gut instinct energy. It can be you overcoming a fear or an anxiety, especially since you have a Nine of Swords there. So it's really interesting that it corresponds with the image that I saw earlier, but also what I'm seeing now. And it's yellow, okay? So a lot of you may be drawn to the color yellow, even if this is not typically a color that you enjoy or like. I mean, yellow is the energy of the sun, of course. So, you know, when you're in this energy, this can indicate there is willpower, determination, but it could also be, you know, doubt or fear or anxiety. So a lot of you may be looking at that, sitting with self and looking at your fears, your worries, and really bringing them into perspective at this time to conquer them, because the Chariot card is all about conquering something. So you could be actually, you know, removing yourself to go off and launch something that is going to be what you perceive as challenging. But that Nine of Swords is like, you're going to feel that fear, but the Chariot card says you're going to do it anyway, and you're going to be very successful. This is you locked onto your goals, being really strict with yourself on something, because the Chariot card can be you're being strict with your finances. For example, if you're worried about finances, it could be that you are really focused on, you know, some sort of financial strategy at this time. But the Chariot card can also indicate great willpower, tenacity, committing yourself to something that has caused you a lot of pressure or anxiety, but you are going to conquer it. You know, there's a lot of success here. And I feel with this Hermit energy, it could be that you need to remove yourself because there is some sort of form of distraction there. Also, I'm being given this energy with that first house, that it's more than just a look, it's more than just your identity this month. You want to connect to your soul purpose, and you may be trying to connect to your higher self. You know, limiting distractions and trying to have some quiet time so you can really hear your heart or really hear your inner compass for the next part of your direction. And, you know, the bear can indicate you've endured something for a long time, okay? And you do have cards here about moving on from something, removing a blockage, or changing something. And I have said this before, so please forgive me if you've heard this, but what you do not change, you accept. And a lot of you, with this energy, you're not accepting something anymore. With that Seven of Swords, I feel like there is a quest for independence when it is partnered with this Hermit energy. So it could be that you want to come out of your usual circumstances in order to be more inspired or discover who it is you really are underneath all of the noise of life in general. You know, if you actually look at the back of that card, it is the sun, the rays of the sun. And, you know, that yellow energy that's coming up, a lot of you could be a little bit more flamboyant in the way you express yourself through your clothes or your style. And, you know, my guides are giving me, and I do know this, I did look it up before, so I want you to be aware of that. I'll always be honest with you and say, I know this fact or I don't know this fact, but I did look it up before because I saw, you know, the chakras stop at the solar plexus chakra there. I looked it up, and actually that solar plexus is called Manipura in Sanskrit, okay, which means city of jewels. So this is such sacred space for you. You know, this is the energy. I always say that this area, your gut instinct, is kind of like your first brain, because it's all about your intuition. You have a feeling about something first, okay? And, you know, your brain and your eyes may not see that something is amiss, but your gut instinct is telling you something is either off or needs to be paid close attention to. So for example, if you've ever walked into a room where everybody's silent and you can feel the energy in the room that perhaps something went down there's been an argument. I mean, you were not privy to that, you didn't hear it, you didn't see it, but your gut instinct can feel the energy and says, something's gone down here, people are not talking, there's an argument. It's not just a pause, okay? So you can feel it before you can actually kind of clarify it. So a lot of you may be developing this gift on a higher level during this month, but also I feel like you're protecting this area as well, because when it's open like that, it can be that a lot of you are picking up other people's energy, okay? So this area, perhaps it's time to really protect it. You know, things like black obsidian, black tourmaline, you know, sometimes I'll hold that, I'll even put it here. You know, you can find out online in order to shut down that area from other people's energy all the time if you're feeling overwhelmed, okay? So that's something that's coming out there as well. But as you can see in this beautiful card, the star is outside of the lantern. So this can indicate that there is a real desire to connect to inspiration, lots of new ideas. But when you get the Hermit, it indicates a lot of you are exhausted. You've got so much on your to-do list, and it's about prioritizing. Saturn is going to make you prioritize what's important, and it's going to be making you very strict with yourself. And we've got that Nine of Swords, which was next. Now this is a very cerebral card, so it can indicate that when you're alone, this is when worries come to light. This is where you can really kind of put your worries into perspective and recognize that if there is something that you are a little bit anxious about, if you can change it, then set those changes in motion, because that Chariot card says you're going to do that. But ultimately, if there is nothing you can do about it, then you are channeling your energy into creative pursuits or more conducive projects that can help you move forward, rather than wasting your time worrying about something that may or may not actually happen, okay? So this Nine of Swords can also indicate a lot of you need a rest. You need a massage, you need to sleep. A lot of you could be looking at better sleeping patterns in the month of June. I mean, for some of you, there is this energy of a quick getaway. So you could be traveling at this time, or this is your intention. And this is where you're going to have good quality rest and good quality sleep there. But it says here anxiety, hopelessness, and trauma. So, you know, this month is a big healing month. So a lot of you could be looking at traumatic experiences and looking at how capable you were and how strong you are from these experiences, and that you're healing, because the star is all about healing. The bear represents you have endured something that has been very challenging for a long time, and now you could be really facing it head on and making sure that you kind of acknowledge that whilst it shaped who you are, it no longer has any power over your future happiness there as well. I mean, the Nine of Swords can indicate that you have so much on your mind right now that it causes you concern that you don't have enough time to get it done, or you feel that time is running out in some way. But I feel like you're going to be locked onto your goals, and I feel like you're going to get these goals done in the right time. So if you do have a time-sensitive issue for the month of June, I see here with that Seven of Swords, you must not delay, and the Two of Pentacles can indicate that there is balance. So you need to have some time to maybe focus or be alone in order to get this thing done without distractions, okay? A lot of you may also be struggling with balance in life, because the Two of Pentacles tells me you have a lot on your plate. There's so much going on in the month of June, but I feel like the way you deal with it, you it's almost like the pace feels better, or you manage it in a better way, is what I'm seeing there. But, you know, I really get this energy as well, that something perhaps has been unfair, or you catch someone out on an untruth. I hate to give that message, but it's something that's coming out there. This could be, because the Ace of Swords is in the resistance position as well as the Seven of Swords being present in your reading. So this could be either a misunderstanding. Let's, you know, not jump ahead of ourselves. It could be a misunderstanding, because the Two of Pentacles there with the Judgment, it tells me that you are going to judge the situation and seek to understand a little bit more about it. But the Seven of Swords can indicate that you kind of like clarify it as someone telling an untruth. Okay, or you are mistrustful of this person going forward. So it could be that you discover, I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is there in the resistance position, so this could be family conflict, okay? Or it could be something in business, for example. So please apply it to your situation. It could be that either someone says they have more money than they have, or it could be that someone has a problem with finances, perhaps, and they're trying to cover up, but you discover. For some of you, it could be that, you know, you catch someone doing something a little bit untoward in the working environment, and you know, you don't really want to get involved in this. The Seven of Swords says, that's not my circus, I'm not getting involved. But at the same time, you may be judging the situation and tempering how you deal with this person or how you react to this news. But, you know, looking at the energy, it feels like you discover something. I mean, the Judgment card can also be that some of you are wondering, should you be a whistleblower on something? Should you actually bring it to light? And you may have to make that decision in the month of June there, okay? But I feel a lot of you, if this is in your family unit or if this is in your relationship, it could be that you need to have a really honest, open conversation with this person to lay it all out on the table. And the Two of Pentacles can indicate, you know, that you have to make a decision, but you're adapting your behavior based on the outcome of this, you know, so not all of you are going to be dealing with that. I want you to be aware of it, but it is coming up, so I have to mention it, okay? Now, we do have the Chariot card, which means you can overcome some bump in the road. I want you to be aware of that. And that's in a family dynamic, it's in a relationship, it's in your personal finances, if you're worried about finances. I mean, your first house is mainly governing you. So this is at the beginning of the month, and this is you looking at, you know, where you feel like you belong in your life. And if you're unhappy with any aspect of your life, this is the month to focus on change for the better. But also you may change a look, a style. You may revamp your wardrobe or cut your hair or restyle it or change the color of it, for example, because this is all about you, but it's more than just aesthetics. It's about how you feel about you. And it can be that a lot of you are pulling your sort of worries into perspective and recognizing that they have held weight or power on you for too long, and now it's time to reclaim your power. And kind of a lot of you could be noticing that you have, as I mentioned earlier, picked up other people's worries or anxiety. And this could be like a family or generational kind of wound or anxiety that you're like, you know what? This is something I need to shut down. I need to move on from this. And it's a very challenging time, but June will be the great month to do that. Now, also, the 8th house is about your joint finances. It is about transformation, not just of the self, but also of money. So it could be new money-making ideas coming into play here for you. You're looking at your repayment plans, mortgage repayments, credit card debt, saving plans, 401ks. So a lot of you, there is this quest for independence, okay? So you could be launching your own business. Some of you may even want to be more nomadic in your working environment. A lot of you could be thinking about retirement, either retirement early, or if you're retired already, it could be that you're being really savvy with your finances to make sure that you connect to your soul purpose. You still have a mission, you're still connecting to your higher self, but also incorporate travel. You know, a lot of you, that Two of Pentacles can be that you want to be there for your family, your friends, but also you want to go off and do your own projects and hobbies and maintain that balance. But there could be some sort of drama in the middle of the month. As I said, around about the 19th, there seems to be some sort of blip in the energy for the collective that everybody needs to pay a little bit of attention to. I mean, it will be resolved, but it could be it threatens to draw you into some sort of drama that you want no part of. And this is about you exerting your boundaries and saying, no, okay, I'll be there to support, but I'm not getting involved at this time. Now, of course, the Chariot card can indicate that this month is all about self-control and willpower, but also you're locked onto your goals and you are ambitious. The Chariot card is a very successful card. It means that, you know, you are committed to something, you are moving forward, you're not going to stop until it's done. And I feel a lot of you may even try to get up early or at sunrise there, maybe even before sunrise for some of you, in order to do something before everybody gets up, or you know, you just want to get ahead of yourself this month so you can go out to play, or you can go off and explore. You know, the Chariot card is also travel. So a lot of you could be tying up loose ends, getting everything done so that you can have more time for you or to go on this vacation. And you're going to have a wonderful time. I want you to be aware of that. And a lot of you may also return to some sort of project or even a money-making idea that you'd shelved. You know, Saturn is like projects that are old or that you've already kind of had a hand in transforming, but this period will make you return to it to improve it in some way. So you could do something around the home space because of that Cancerian energy. That's all about your relationships, how you feel, but also it's about your sacred space. So a lot of these transformations could be about where you feel like you belong, and some of you may even be moving or relocating at this time. And with that Hermit energy and the Nine of Swords, this can be that your life is in a bit of chaos because everything's in boxes right right now, and you're still doing life and you're still trying to move. So it can indicate that when you get settled, then everything starts to be calmer there as well. So enjoy your new abode if that's you, or if you're currently looking to relocate. I definitely see that there are options out there, but I would say, because the Ten of Pentacles is present in your reading, I would say that a lot of properties are over bloated when it comes to what they're asking for the prices right now. You know, I feel a lot of you, this is an unfair dynamic, and it can be that if you kind of wait for a little bit, you know, there will be a fluctuation in the price and it will come down to a more realistic price. But I do see a lot of you discovering a property that aligns with what you desire. So if you're searching for property, I definitely see that this is a great time to find your forever home. However, that Seven of Swords indicates you need to look into it a little bit further, or you will discover that actually that, you know, the price for the area is perhaps, you know, way above what it should be. So you may be shopping around, or you may be negotiating a better deal, but it feels very much like there will be a stalemate at some point, and a lot of you may walk away from this at that point, and I feel that says to the vendor that you're not willing to pay because it's overpriced. And give it a little while, I feel like they will take down the price. I feel most people are looking at this like, okay, you know, it is overpriced, so there will be a reduction there eventually on that property. So I'm just going to move away from that energy. The Chariot card indicates a very fast-paced month. You're going to have a lot on your to-do list, and you're going to get it done, so relax. You know, temper your pace. The Chariot card indicates it's a very successful month for you, and it means that you're removing obstacles and blockages, and you're getting things done. And self-control, discipline, and success is what is going to take you to the top. So a lot of you, if you're launching a business, it can be that it's going to be very successful. It's going to be very hard at first, and you know, a lot of you may want to get some sort of advice or look at a structure of how to do it in order to legally not misstep. Okay, especially when you're doing everything alone, sometimes there's a potential to misstep because the information may not be readily available. Especially since you have that Ace of Swords in the resistance position, it can indicate some sort of information that is hidden or not available to be seen unless you dig a little bit deeper, or you go to a person who either controls the information or who knows the information. For example, you know, if you are wanting to look at generational wealth, okay, because you've got that Ten of Pentacles right there. So if you want to create a structure regarding generational wealth, there may be lots of information online about how it exists, how it works, but setting it up, you know, or trying to really do it alone is not something that is readily available, because there has to be middleman, as it were. So, you know, otherwise these people would be out of a job. There has to be a structure, and of course they have worked their whole life to learn the legalities of it, so they are in a position to give you the correct advice. But it can be that, you know, you were thinking about setting this up or looking into the way of setting this up without the middleman, as it were. And I have to say, with the Seven of Swords, don't rush it, because the Chariot card can be a very fast-paced energy. The Seven of Swords indicates if you rush into anything, you may misstep, or you may have to return to something because there's an error, okay? So just be a little bit mindful of that there. Now also, I would say this is an important month to check your hard copy mail and your spam folder, because the Ace of Swords there is in the resistance position, which can indicate that something is missed. It could be connected to money, or it could be connected to a family benefit in some way, or something that is, you know, integral to your next step. So if you've applied for a permit for something that is time sensitive, whether it is for a parking bay, whether it is for some sort of construction, and you have to sign something off, it could have gone to a spam folder. I mean, it could even be a check, for example, or it could be in your hard copy mail that gets dismissed. Okay, so if you do live with people, your family, because the Ten of Pentacles is present, so it can be that someone sees something and thinks, oh, I'll tell my beautiful Sagittarian about it later, and then they've got a lot on their mind as well, and they forget about it. Okay, this is also a little bit of a nudge for you if you've been meaning to come back around and do something that you've put to the side. You know, I feel things could get critical if you've got a lot on your plate and you, you know, perhaps don't pay attention to it. That's what I'm seeing there. But the Magician card can indicate a lot of you are feeling unmotivated because you've been all up in your responsibilities. You know, life has been pretty heavy for you recently, especially with that Hermit energy. And of course, the Ten of Pentacles is there and it is in the resistance position. So there could have been a lot of heavy family conflict recently, or challenge where people are bickering about perhaps, you know, the same old thing, especially with the Ace of Swords in the resistance position. It can indicate that, you know, there's either not a new conflict, because the Ace of Swords is in the reverse position. It can indicate something that always occurs and you're just so fed up of it always occurring. So it can be that you just want to distance yourself, or you're dealing with this in a different way, because again, it comes back to this root of your energy for the month of June, that what you do not change, you accept. And I feel a lot of you with these cards, you're adjusting your approach or your behavior with a situation, and that in turn will give this person or this situation a bit of a wake-up call that you're not getting involved in some way. Okay, this is all about your personal power, and I definitely see here there's a lot of potential this month for you to manifest, to achieve what you set out to achieve. But also this is about your focus, okay, because the Magician card is all about where your attention goes, and I feel there is a great achievement here for you with this Magician card. It feels like something that you've been working hard to accomplish. You know, I want to say the sentence to you because it's just popped into the energy and into the water. You know, power moves in silence. So a lot of you, there is this energy of you transforming your life in some way, but going off grid to do it, or going, you know, under the radar, almost like everybody's asking, hey, where's my beautiful Sagittarian? They kind of like remove themselves a little bit, but I feel it's to empower yourself or regroup your energy in some way. And there lies the magic, because this is about you manifesting something into, you know, the tangible form. Because the Ten of Pentacles, everything that's in the reverse, this will go into the upright. So you're going to have some really exciting money news in the month of June, something that perhaps is going to help you financially save. It could be that you're pooling your resources, locking off different portions of money that cannot be touched. For example, stuff for a rainy day, even though I do not see that you'll need that. A lot of you, this could be that you intended to get a promotion or a bonus in something, and it could have been promised to you, but nothing really happened there. Seven of Swords can indicate that you may have to push for it again, or it can be that someone tried to get you to do something and promise you like a dangling carrot, but then suddenly it feels like you give them an ultimatum. So let me just make this very clear in kind of real terms. So if your boss promised you a raise or a promotion or something there and it's not materialized, it could be in the works. They may not have the power that they claim they had to give you that opportunity. They may have had to go through certain lines of inquiry, like a process, to make it happen, but it's stalled, and you could be feeling a little bit bereft about this, and you could challenge them on it in the month of June and say, hey, I mean, diplomatically, because you've got that Seven of Swords there, it can be that you are saying, is that, you know, promotion in the works? Is there an opportunity to flourish in this industry? And they're like, yeah, I have put in for a promotion for you or a raise for you, but I haven't heard anything back. And you could actually, you know, basically say, look, you know, I know things are tough right now, but I'm looking around. The Two of Pentacles is to keep your eyes peeled for alternatives. It can be that there's going to be some unusual developments where suddenly you are landing an opportunity that gives you the big 10. And you're going to kind of highlight your loyalty to the company that you're in right now, but also acknowledge that your skill set is growing, and therefore the pay discrepancy or the paycheck should be growing with it, but it's just not at this time. So it could be that you're making your boss aware. I mean, they're human. They're thinking the same thing. They're thinking about their step up in their industry too. So they understand you from that viewpoint when you come at them and say, look, you know what, I value my skill set and I really want to grow in this industry. I want to be loyal to the company, but you're not giving me any alternative. I've hit a glass ceiling, and, you know, I don't want to take my skill set elsewhere. However, you're giving me no other choice at this time. And suddenly I feel you could get that important call where there is a flurry of activity and you get things moving in a quicker fashion. Okay. Now, for some of you, this could also be if you have a landlord, okay, someone who perhaps is abusing their power in some way, it could be that they're raising prices in some area, maybe services or something. And the Seven of Swords can indicate that the collective, because there is a judgment energy, it could be that someone is caught, doing something untoward there. And the Two of Pentacles, it can make them get back in line. It can literally make things balance out by catching someone out and saying, hey, there's a bit of a discrepancy here, or that's unfair. You can't do that legally. So some of you, I feel like you could be confronting something. For some of you, if you do have rented a property, I feel if you are a landlord, for example, it could also be that someone decides to leave without giving you the correct notice, and you may have to challenge this. It feels very unfair, but there will be balance. You will get, what you deserve. You will get the month due rent. If that's what they're trying to get out of, for example, you will get it back, but you may have to call them out or threaten some sort of legal action in order to make them really step up. And equally, it works the same way in the opposite energy. If you have a landlord who perhaps is selling the property that you rent and is asking you to leave, it could be at first that they try to give you like undue notice. They could be like, you know what, we're selling the property and you need to be out in like a month. And you're like, well, actually, my conditions in the terms of the contract say it's 3 months, and you could be calling them out. And they're like, well, you know what, we have a buyer, and it looks like it's going to happen pretty quickly. And you go, well, you still have to honor your contract. It's legal, it's binding, and therefore you call them out. And then they back down and go, okay, sorry, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's get back into, balance here and not fall out over this. You've got 3 months to vacate, and it becomes fairer, okay? Because the Two of Pentacles is to bring things back into balance and things to be fair, okay? So if you also feel like someone is not pulling their weight in something, there will be balance this month. Now, the Ace of Swords, of course, is in the resistance position, but it goes into the upright, which means clarity. It means sudden transformation, and it also indicates new ideas, inspiration. So I feel something's being offered to you. Really good news is being offered to you in the month of June. For some of you, this could manifest in terms of a bonus or even a promotion there. But it's really interesting because it feels like at first it is, I don't know how to put that. I don't want to say a poison chalice. It just feels like there's some sort of like negative aspect to the role, and it could be also that you're kind of on similar money at first, but at the same time I feel like you course correct it where you increase your money, but you have to challenge it is what I'm being given, because it just feels like someone may try to get you to do extra work or disguise it as a new status, a new title, but ultimately you're nobody's fool. So you could be challenging something saying, hey, look, this just means new work with a fancy new title, and you're not willing to give me the correct finances that go along with a role like this. So it can be that they adjust the pay or the conditions of the role. Now, if you're currently out of work, for some of you, I see this energy of duality where I see some of you launching your own business, becoming your own boss, doing something as a sideline, but also a role comes in for you. I feel a lot of you, there are two opportunities that you'll have to choose from. One of them feels a little bit off. That's why your solar plexus is really coming to the fore for this month, because this is about trusting your instincts. One of them feels a little bit off. There's something challenging about it, and I feel you get the inkling of this as soon as you go into the building. So it feels like first point of contact. So if you're having to go to the desk, to security or reception to sign in for an interview, something feels off or feels mismanaged in this environment. And this is the representation of what you will experience if you work for this company. Okay, so just be a little bit mindful, because the Seven of Swords indicates that there's something that you need to pay attention to. Seven of Swords, the history of the Seven of Swords can indicate diplomacy, a need to, address a delicate situation from a different angle, to remove the weaponry, to remove the coarse words where you can, acknowledge that something said in anger or frustration can never be taken back. You know, it's out there and it's wounding. But it can also be, you know, that someone is trying to get away with something. There could be a confidentiality breach. Some of you may actually hear that a company that you're affiliated with, whether this is a financial institution, doesn't have to be that you're working for a company. It can be that you're associated with, you know, a certain service provider or a financial institution, and they have a data breach. And it can be that you're contacted as a client or a customer to say, look, we've had this breach, and your information was one of the informations that were taken. And there could be some sort of new stringent security measures, or it could also be that, you know, you are tested in your working environment regarding the firewall to see if you click any like weird links, phishing emails, for example. I would also say if you're called by any service providers or financial institutions in the month of June, I mean anytime, but it's showing up strongly in the month of June. If anyone is sending you a text message or it looks legit, but it's weird how they're asking for information or data on you, personal information, that is a red flag. And that's time for you to kind of like put a pause and say, hey, let me just check through an authentic way of connecting to that service provider or financial institution, because you'll find out actually it's a really sophisticated scammer. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, I'm not here to make you feel paranoid. You know, the energy is showing that you're very savvy, especially with your solar plexus, you know, catching things. And the judgment energy is that you are someone who is very analytical. You'll judge something before you connect to it. You find out all the information about it before you actually affiliate yourself with it. So you're very savvy. So I feel a lot of you will see it before you know, you connect to it, and you will actually avoid it, whatever it is. But also the Ace of Swords, it can be that in terms of yourself, because your first house is influencing you, if you've been waiting for a procedure or a date to have an operation, for example, I feel one could come in there for you, and it may be quite sudden, okay? It feels quite quick, it's come in there, but what I see there is it's like you rearrange all your life in order to make that happen, but there could be a last minute pause, or you are bumped down further in the time or something like that, and you get like a new appointment. It feels, you know, a little bit chaotic. The appointment system is what I'm being given, but still it will go ahead. And of course, you know, you'll have time to get back into balance and convalesce, and, you know, things will help you get back into the rhythm. So if you're trying to manage a symptom of something, this could also be that perhaps things have been out of kilter and you've been exhausted and it's been kind of like weighing you down. Suddenly in June, you identify what this is. And it may require you to cut something out, whether this is a substance that has been inflaming, whatever it is, because the Magician is to kind of like, you know, have a flash of something. It is to inflame something. And if you're managing something that tends to, you know, inflame, like allergies or some sort of pain or sciatica or anything like that, if something inflames occasionally, you could have a flash of that in the month of June, but I feel like you manage it and may even come into contact with someone who can give you really good advice on how to manage it long term and eventually kind of like get on top of it to the point where you don't feel it anymore, okay? But it says here, breakthrough, clarity, and sharp mind. So if you're having any meetings or giving presentations, or you have to have that really honest, open conversation with someone in your family or in your soul tribe, or even in your relationship, this is the month to do it, to lay all the cards on the table. A lot of you are confronting something to make sure that you nip it in the bud, because I feel you've been enduring something that's been occurring for too long, but it will be a diplomatic conversation because you don't want to inflame things, okay? You know, the Ace of Swords indicates that you have an incredible mind and there is a breakthrough and it's going to happen really quick, okay? But that's why I feel it's so important that when something is too quick, that you judge it before you connect to it or affiliate with it, because that Judgment card and the Seven of Swords says that you may catch something that is hidden or something that is not readily seen. So if you are purchasing property, for example, do your due diligence. There could be something that is hidden, like damp or, you know, a structural kind of concern there that you need to really look into before you actually move ahead with it. Ultimately, your gut instinct is going to make sure that you're on top of things and adjust your approach to things there. I mean, I feel a lot of the energy here is saying you're going to be really busy, and that flexibility is the key. You're going to have a lot of impromptu events or circumstances arise in the month of June, but also it can be, you know, if you work for yourself and you have a vacation, there may be something that you have to dip into work with. If you're looking for a job, there is going to be two major ones, but one of them feels off, so you have to make a decision there. If you're purchasing a car, for example, because the Chariot card is there, it can indicate you're upgrading your car, or it can be as well the Nine of Swords, you may be worried about something regarding your car and you may want to take it into the shop there to get it fixed, but you could be quoted like an astronomical kind of fee for it, and you may feel that that's unfair. You're like, no, that's just not good enough. It could be that you have to shop around and you'll find a place that is a little bit more honest and asks for a little bit more of a realistic sum of money to do whatever it is you need to do for that. Now, we have the Ten of Pentacles here. So a lot of you with the Ace of Swords, new money making ideas, especially because your 8th house is influencing you. Okay, so this is transforming your finances, being stricter with your budgets because of that Chariot card, but also it can be that you launch something. If you're a business owner, this could be you branching out or launching a new platform. Some of you with that Ace of Swords, you may utilize the internet in order to get your message out there, or your style, or, you know, you may start a blog, or something that you do may go viral. And, you know, be mindful, especially because we have intellectual property here with that Ace of Swords. Make sure that you trademark it, copyright it, because Seven of Swords indicates either a copycat or someone who wants to take your ideas and pass them off as your own. So you could actually nip that in the bud with a conversation and say, hey, caught you, please take it down, or acknowledge that that is my work. And it could be that they address the balance there. They kind of like, they reconfigure things and make sure that they're a little bit more honest, okay? Now, also, the Ten of Pentacles indicates a lot of you are dealing with finances, okay? Saving for something, a big purchase, whether it's a vacation or a property move, or whether it's a car, for example. And I feel like you're going to be on target this month, okay? You're going to be really proud of yourself. Ten of Pentacles, a lot of family responsibilities, but there may be some sort of like change in schedule, which may kind of like require you to be flexible. There's this energy here of either something being canceled or rearranged, and you have to work around that, which could cause you a bit of anxiety or frustration, but actually it works out for you better in the end. Everything happens for a reason, okay? Now, I hate to give this message, but some of you may have been dealing with inheritance at this time, and I'm sending you a huge hug out there. So much love. If you have been grieving a person, because Seven of Swords can be grief as well, and it's a very challenging time, and it's almost like you're on autopilot. You don't want to have to deal with the legalities. It feels just so unfair, and I'm sending you so much love. I wish you know, I could hug you all up in a big hug there, but I'm sending you lots of healing vibes. Some of you may have noticed that people's negative side comes out when inheritance is on the table. So when you have that Ace of Swords and the Seven of Swords there, it could be that someone says something that is off the cuff, it's not fair, it feels highly pressurized. People deal with grief in different ways, but you could deal with someone who perhaps is in a mindset that they're entitled in some way, and they could try to, especially with Seven of Swords, they could actually try to have some untoward tactics, some power play energy there in order to get their own way. And I feel like you call them out on it, and it seems like they try to put it back on you, like you're the bad person in this story, but actually you know that you speak your truth, okay? Also, I want to just say this is the month where if you're hiding something or you're trying to get away with something, it gets exposed, okay? I don't imagine that my beautiful Sagittarians would ever be doing that, but the Ace of Swords, you know, when it's in the resistance position, if you're doing something that is not honest, for example, Seven of Swords indicates you're probably going to get caught, okay? So just be mindful of that. That's coming through, but I can't imagine any of you are doing that. I feel more than anything, you may catch someone else doing something. And this could be when you're out and about in the day. It could be that you capture someone doing something by, you know, filming them or something like that. So, you know, it can manifest in many different forms. But the Ten of Pentacles is legacy, inheritance, and a culmination, okay? I feel, you know, a lot of you, if you are dealing with the inheritance aspect, I feel, yes, there are going to be some unfair power plays there, but the Two of Pentacles indicates the outcome will be fair. Okay, so don't worry about things or get anxious or angry about it. I feel what it is what it is. And, you know, the Two of Pentacles often means that things get called into balance and what is right will occur. You know, what is fair will happen. Now, Ten of Pentacles, a lot of you, you're manifesting more money. I would say, if I'm honest, this energy, the Two of Pentacles indicates your money will fluctuate. You may be pooling your resources, paying bills, the usual stuff, moving money around, having a little bit to save. You know, I feel like you're topping up your savings plan little by little, and you'll be really proud of yourself. But I actually feel like you are attracting more. You're removing a money block or something this month, and I feel that either there's new opportunities financially coming in for you. For some of you, there may be a small win coming in as well, okay? And when we leave the month for you, you've got the Judgment card, which means you're more about your sense of purpose, and you've been giving everything that you've got to the path that you're on right now. And it has been lonely at times and challenging, but I do see that there is a breakthrough there. And a lot of you, the Seven of Swords, the history of the Seven of Swords is more about independence, doing something differently, or, you know, walking your own path that perhaps your family or your friends or your soul tribe don't understand. And the Ace of Swords in this position, it can indicate that if they don't understand it, then you're just not going to give them any more information on it. You're like, okay, we'll just, you know, talk about other things. We won't talk about me or anything that I'm up to because you just don't get it. So it can be that you're just removing yourself with that hermit energy there. You know, some people will never understand your path, and that's okay because it's not their path, it's yours to understand. And a lot of you are going to leave June understanding your path a little bit more. I definitely see that there is some sort of communication coming on in here that will benefit you and potentially your family in some way, but just keep your eyes on your hard copy mail because I feel something could get missed there. But this is a big month for stepping into your power and focusing on your direction. You know, I feel this is a big evaluation month where you're gathering all the information. You're sorting the wheat from the chaff, as it were, for the strategy that you have before you launch something. So a lot of you, I feel this is a gathering month of just taking stock of things and, you know, creating structure in order to move forward on that true calling. But also something has run its course in your life right now. And it can be that, you know, you want this independence or you want to break free from something that you feel has had power over you for some time. For example, for some of you, it could be an addiction to something like, I don't know, addiction to sugar or caffeine, or it could be that you tend to get stuck in a rut if there is drama, for example. There is a quick fix energy here, and a lot of you could be looking at that in this month in order to control it, have power over it, so it no longer has power over you. And it could be based on your emotions. So a lot of you are deep in thought about how your environment really affects you and what you kind of like do after you've experienced some sort of upset or anxiety there. Now we have the Seven of Swords, of course, which is this energy of independence there, but the Seven of Swords can also indicate indiscretion, gossip, okay? And because you have that Ace of Swords there, it could be that either you hear gossip about yourself or someone else, and gossip has the power to destroy people, of course, but I feel that looking at the energy, there's divine intervention. So if someone is trying to badmouth you in some way, it's not going to work. In fact, it's going to highlight them for who they truly are. And actually, I feel they will be ostracized, or people will have a true measure of them and recognize that it's not about you, okay? But we have here deception, tactics, strategy, and trickery. Now, I feel a lot of you, this is strategy for your life. You know, I feel a lot of you, this is you kind of being tactical about your energy in order to approach something and be in that goal setting spirit so that you can go and get that goal. So I definitely see here that you're leading with your truth because the Ace of Swords is going to be in the upright. So I feel a lot of you, there could be a path that opens up where you're like, this is a quicker way, but is it an honest way? So some of you may be dealing with that. I feel like you choose the honest way looking at the energy. It says here as well, not just tactics and strategy, but trickery. So people may be very clever with their words. I just want to pull a quick card on that energy, okay? Sometimes when you care so much about something, people can take advantage of that. So if you're someone who goes above and beyond for people in your family or people in your working environment or in your neighborhood, for example, you know, someone could trick you into doing more. You know, adding more things to your list. So for example, if you're involved in the community and they ask you to get involved in some sort of bake sale, you know, and they're like, oh, we really love your cooking. Would you like to get involved in this? And you're like, yeah, that'd be amazing. And suddenly they've kind of left all of the duties for you. And suddenly you're actually hosting this. Suddenly you're like totally in control of it. And you're like, well, how did that happen? It can be that people are like, oh, I thought you wanted to like be involved, as in like take command of it. So we just gave you all of the tasks and the responsibilities. They may try to take the credit or the glory for it, but they're trying to get you to do all the work. So, you know, it can be that you're looking at people and the way they conduct themselves and how they try and get their own way using flowery words. This could be something that you're just like totally noticing this month, okay? It doesn't have to be something that you are experiencing. It could be just you're noticing how people use certain words that empower themselves, and strategy, you know, how it puts them in a position. It could be that you are looking at the power of thought and the power of words and how we can actually have a mindset reset. You know, we can actually trick our minds into believing that we have something right now so we can manifest it quicker. You know, that sentence, fake it till you make it kind of energy. You know, it can be that you're looking at different parameters and different dynamics of utilizing the mindset in order to power on through something that has been challenging, so that you're overriding it in order to really suddenly have this breakthrough, because fake it till you make it kind of indicates, you know, there is a breakthrough point, and you have that Ace of Swords there. Now we've got the Three of Pentacles, so this tells me that this is you building something. This is your plans, you know. This is you engineering a plan, or, you know, having a talent or a craft or something that you're building upon right now. I would say as well, creative collaborations. Just watch the person who's doing the less work, okay? Because they may try to pull rank or try to take credit for something. But Three of Pentacles indicates that you're building something right now. This could be your finances, because you're going from a Two of Pentacles to a Three of Pentacles there. Slowly but surely, you know, building your empire. There's no fast track. Sometimes the quickest way to something is, you know, something that perhaps is not honorable, you know. So it could be that someone out there is being offered something in the month of June where you go, hang on a minute, this is all fair and well, but it seems like too good to be true. And when you investigate it further, you'll realize actually maybe it is, okay, which can be the disappointment period on the 19th, for example. But for some of you, this can be, with that Three of Pentacles, that someone that you're connected to, either a friend, for example, lets you down. You know, I'm really picking up this vibe that either someone reschedules or cancels something or lets you down in the month of June. But you're someone who's self-sufficient. You know, your independence with that Seven of Swords says, it's okay. You know what? I honor myself. I value myself. I don't need you to go to this event. I didn't need to do this thing. I'm just doing my own thing. However, I will adjust my behavior and temper my interaction with you going forward, because you're either not to be trusted or you're flaky. And I feel like you're just kind of like staying away from anybody who does not invest in relationships with you there as well. Definitely some money news coming in for you regarding either a small increase in finances or a bonus there. And also, you know, this is about you looking at quality over quantity. So some of you could make a large purchase this month, but have to send it back. I hate to give that message. Seven of Swords is telling me, you know, you may have to send it back. You may get a refund there, or you may notice that there is a fault with it and have to send it back. And the Two of Pentacles, it will be sent back out, but this time it works. For example, you know, you will get back this month what you're putting out there to receive when it comes to your manifestations as well. The Two of Pentacles, because it is a fast-paced month, it's important to have fun as well as working really hard there. But also this is about remaining flexible, because I feel there are some plot twists going on there for you. I also feel divine intervention. You're protected and directed. So if you do experience any letdown or rejection there, I can only see like a person in your immediate circumstances letting you down on an event. That's what I'm seeing. And I feel like things balance themselves out. But the Two of Pentacles can indicate that you have to make a decision. The Judgment card is a decision about something, okay? And you have to decide which path you're going to take. Are you going to take the quick route, or are you going to take a route that feels like it is healthier, or more conducive to where you really want to end up? Sometimes if you're doing something really quick, it's not sustainable, a flash in the pan. So it can be that you're taking necessary steps to create a foundation for your wealth or for your path that is sustainable and maintainable. You're looking for security. Three of Pentacles says you're securing your future. You may even do a course of learning, for example, and some of you may book a course of learning and it says that you're going to be learning all these wonderful things. However, one of the main things that perhaps you even downloaded the course for, it may be absent, or you may have to chase it, for example. And you'll get it. It will be delivered to you, but it could be something that gets missed, or there could be a misunderstanding there. So that's coming through. Thanks so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. I mean, this month it feels more that you're like squirreling yourself away to focus on your plans. Yeah, so you can reach the next level. There is a breakthrough there happening, Oh, we got good gossip going on here. So people are talking about you behind the scenes, but I would just watch who you give your information to, because that's coming out strongly, and there could be a breach of confidentiality. That is coming out strong. Center stage. And my guides want one more, so I'll give it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? What do they need to be aware of? So we have unclear path. So this card here, I mean, sometimes the path to the next level is unclear. When we start to feel bereft, or we're like stagnant or in a period of pause, this is where the magic actually happens. Many years ago when I went through a tower moment, everything became very still. I was shocked, completely rooted to the spot, and I didn't know which direction to go in, and I lost my sense of self, sense of direction. So some of you, if you're feeling that things are unclear right now, especially because the Judgment card with the Two of Pentacles can indicate that things are feeling a little bit unclear, or you're having to make some adjustments. I mean, the goal is still the same. Success, security, building a life for you and your family, and being on top of things. And you're definitely well on your way to that. But sometimes we question the path because we're feeling that there is a gear shift. And, if you're feeling that right now, it can be that you're doing a lot of questioning and going back and forth on what's the next steps. And in this pause, that's where clarity lies, because that Ace of Swords is there, your breakthrough. Suddenly you'll know what to do. Suddenly all the information will become available to you. And as I mentioned, I went through this period of stillness where I was very unclear about the next steps. I had no clue about what was going to happen next, but I trusted the process. This weird calmness came on me where I was like, okay, universe, show me. And actually all the opportunities that I fought so hard to, get in my life, even ones that were always out of reach. I was always working towards something, saying, I want it, this is my dream. And it was always out of reach, but I worked really hard and it was still out of reach. But then during the tower moment where everything kind of like transformed, suddenly this weird stillness was like, it's okay. It's all going to work out fine. Just trust. And I was like, well, okay, I got nothing left to lose. I got trust. That's it. I got to believe. And then suddenly the universe was like, this thing that you worked like 10 years to accomplish, but it was always out of reach. Well, here it is. It's just delivered to you. And I was like, what? It's just happened? It's like everything started happening. Sometimes, the law of the universe is all about balance, and we forget about that. We're so busy moving forward that we forget to step back and receive. So that's where your Two of Pentacles energy is. Seven of Swords is always moving forward, always on the treadmill of life. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Seven of Swords is actually yellow, which is all about positivity. Any card that's in Tarot that is yellow or golden, it is a positive card, okay? But, that figure is running away with 5 swords, and there's 2 left behind. They're moving in stealth mode because they want to do a really good act, which is remove the weaponry from the army. They don't want to fight, okay? But they have to do it quickly. So, or they feel like they have to do it in stealth mode. There's more room for other swords. They have 3 swords in one hand and 2 in the other. They could have taken at least another sword in that hand there, but they didn't. They were like, I'm going to come back for that, okay, because they were rushed. So the universe says, well, you're always on the go. You're always doing something. Your mind is whirring a mile a minute. Take a pause with that hermit energy. Stay still. Allow the universe to work its magic for you. In stillness, you are open to receive. But when you're in action mode, you are putting your energy outwards. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that the pause is on purpose, and it is there that we receive the good news, the breakthroughs, and the opportunities. And I feel like this is a month where you're going to see that unfold for you. So it says here, step by step, keep going, and it will lead you to the destinations that you want. You might not have considered some of these destinations. Unknown, hidden blessings. So something is going to come out of the blue, something you're not even aware of. As I said, that Ace of Swords, you do not have this right now. The Ace of Swords is about to come in for you. It's about to be offered to you. It's a new path or a new decision that you have to make, and it's exciting. We also have taking center stage there. So this is about your personal power. It says here, you're not meant to be on the sidelines. Let your wishes and dreams take center stage. Pay attention, fame, you're important. Okay, so some of you, your ideas may go viral. You may launch something online. You may utilize the internet or promote your work or do something where you're seen. This is where the magic is going to come into fruition for you. And I feel it happens towards the end of the month there for you as well. Now we've got good gossip. So I did have some negative gossip coming through because the Ace of Swords in the reverse is not good, okay? Please look up online what the cards mean. But it says here, your reputation is very good at this time, or you're being talked about in a positive way. Reputation, image, and well-known. And two cards there highlight you being known for what you do and being noticed. And of course, that is going to attract haters. That is going to attract people who look at you like you've got it all, but they just don't know how hard it is for you to run your life to have this success. And you may always feel like success is still in the future because you're always wanting to level up to the next stage in your life. And you're always working towards something. But I feel if there's any negative gossip, it normally means that someone is either jealous of you or feels that you have something that they want, but at this stage in their life, they're not capable of achieving. And everything happens for a reason. Now we've also got next level. So I definitely see here that there is that breakthrough this month. This is a great month for you to have some sort of good news to help you go up to that next level. It says, if you leave your comfort zone, you will see accelerated growth and change. And you have a very fast-paced month. Things are going to accelerate for you in this breakthrough. But try to temper the energy or remain in a balanced, harmonious, flexible energy because you don't want to miss things. You don't want to miss the good stuff. The good stuff is in the pause. It's in the present moment. And it says here, expansion, exploring, and growth. I feel portals are opening up for you this month. Doors of opportunity lie there for you, but it may have required you to sit still for a while to think about what it is you truly want, and then the rest will unfold. Then you get the call, the conversation, the email, the discussion, the thing that you've been waiting for the most. And that's where, things will open up and expand for you. So finally, we have the tree. A lot of you, this expansion is in your family, but also in your finances. Trees represent growth when it comes to money. So it can be that something that perhaps you even planted years ago, something you've been having in motion, maintaining, sustaining, and nurturing at this time is really going to blossom and bloom. So if you have a business or you've been working on something, it could really, extend its reach or branch out in some way. But also it'll be very fruitful. This could also be a call for you to get into nature more, to ground yourself so that you can have these wonderful ideas to come on in there. A lot of you will be focused on your family, maybe even discover a family secret. And it can be that you kind of see a person in a new light there as well. So a lot going on for your month. I hope something resonates in this reading for you, my beautiful Sagittarians. Thank you so much, and love and light.